Hi, this is Bob. I have a message to Milo and the other SJWs about the lbgtqi movement these days. Um, I'm just going to start by saying this. And if you see me looking down, it's because I'm reading, and I'm sorry about the shitty quality of the video. I do this off my Kindle. It's a little difficult. If YouTube turns out to be something I get into, I will save up for a better computer and definitely some editing software. But anyway, Milo and others, I am not against you. I do not want to interfere in your life. I do not want to impede your call for justice. In return, I would like you to do the same. I am a gay male. Maybe in your terms, I am a Caucasian, anti-heteronormative, cisgendered person of Semitic descent. Basically, that says I'm a gay Jew who's white. But that's for another story about my feelings on that. But anyway, please stop using the term queer and heteronormative. And cis doesn't have to be said. Cis does not have to be said because, as you point out again and again, we live in a heteronormative society, so it's usually implied. So the only time you really need to use the word cis is when you're in a group of like-minded people and like-gendered people of yourselves. Everybody else is just going to assume it. So unless it necessarily has to point out that that person is cis because you're hanging out with a bunch of other trans people and they're not trans, then use it. But don't make us use it. Because believe me, white guys or straight guys have been fucking pissed off about being straight, insert gender here, males for a while. So what do you think the term cis is going to make them feel like? It's going to automatically turn them off. So they're not going to hear anything else you have to say. And you do make quite a lot of good points. It's just the language you're using is turning off the audience you're trying to convey it to. Because you don't have to convey it to the people who are like yourself, because they know already. But I'm not here to be a pink knight for the straight community or the straight people or whatever. I just hate being called I just hate the term heteronormative because it implies and makes me feel like I am homo abnormative. And I'm abnormal for a lot of reasons, but not for being gay. Being gay is a little abnormal because, we're right now only 5% of us are out and consider ourselves part of the population in the whole LGBT community, which might lead to believe that, with the other people who aren't out or haven't, woke yet, that it might be 8%, but let's say it's 10%. That's still just 1 in 10 people. So, it's not that abnormal, and people don't see it as abnormal anymore. So please, stop using heteronormative because it's making me feel like I am homo abnormative. And the other opposite term that you use for that is queer. I am not queer. I have been fighting being called a queer my whole life. I am 43. When I was a kid, a teenager, gays were not allowed to be in the military. They were not allowed to get married. They had no partner rights at all. So some of the shit you're fighting for is moot. Look, the Pope even apologized to gay people and said other Christians would do the same. The biggest outreach for gays in my community right now is through the Catholic Church Lady of Lourdes. They have the biggest hand outstretched to the gay community right now and is doing the most for it. So all that shit you're fucking talking about is moot. You got that shit. Stop with the microaggressions. We put Kim Davis in jail, or they put Kim Davis in jail for not following the law. That never would have happened. Fuck those guys with the bakery. You did not need to bring a suit against them. If they did not want to make your cake, they shouldn't have to. Stop running into their safe spaces where they are a community and telling them that they're wrong. You don't like it when straight people come to the gay communities like the Village or the Castro and start their anti-gay bullshit. Well, they don't want it either. And most people, like I said, are not impeding you. There's going to be assholes out there. Let them be an asshole. be above it, okay? Because as far as that goes, I don't want to take back the word queer. Black people took back the word nigger. They use a soft A to fucking describe it. I don't give a fuck. It's still confusing. It's confusing to white people. It's confusing to black people who do not want to be called that at all with an ER or a soft A. I mean, and then you can't go up to a black person and call them that, because whether they use the word or not, it's going to be a real trigger to them, not, you asked me to touch my hair, okay? And I hate the word trigger, but that's what that word does when white people say it. It is really a trigger. It's not your little, he described me as non-heteronormative or blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I digress. That really wasn't part of my script. I'm going off base. All right. Plus, if you start trying to take back the word queer, it's going to confuse people. So I don't want people saying, well, they use it, so why can't I use it too? Because we all know the people who want to use the N-word are the ones who are probably most racist anyway, or just plain confused white kids who identify with black culture, who have to be reminded they're white all the time. So if you insist on calling yourself queer, I have an idea for you. Take yourselves out of the lbgtqi and sometimes Y movement. I want it to be LGBT again, because most trans people are transitioning into another sex. They are not staying somewhere in between. Okay? So if you want to be somewhere in between, start your own movement. I suggest calling it queer, undetermined, intersex, and trans confused. If you don't get it, that's quit. You can just quit it. Please quit representing me. You do not represent me. You are confusing people. You are pissing them off. We are going in the exact opposite direction. Okay? Look, they're trying to take away abortion rights all over the fucking country by coming up with laws and loopholes. That was determined back in the 70s, and now they're trying to go against it. So when you use the word queer to describe yourself, you are just leading to more backlash in the future. That's my opinion. That's my advice. Take it if you want. I know I sound very angry. I get very heated. I'm a New Yorker. Our voices go up when we're passionate. It does not necessarily mean I'm angry. It just means that I'm passionate. And like I said, thanks for listening. I hope you take it into consideration, and I hope that's something to think about. Bye.